The throne of the all-time top scorer in EuroLeague has a new successor, with Mike James surpassing the legend Vassilis Spanoulis and making history. Is the 33-year-old American the top player who has ever played in Europe? How does he compare to Vassilis Spanoulis, a EuroLeague legend, and what makes a player the best of all time? First off, they are both two complete combo guards with abilities in both creating and scoring. Vassilis Spanoulis finished his EuroLeague career with averages of 12.4 points and 4.5 assists in 358 games, while Mike James counts 16.5 points and 4.5 assists in 270 games. The Greek legend, who played for 15 seasons in EuroLeague, had shooting percentages of 49.5% for two-pointers and 32.1% for three-pointers. The American also had 49.5% for two-pointers and 33.1% for three-pointers. But what made Spanoulis stand out wasn't just the points he scored, it was how and when he scored them. A charismatic scorer born for tough moments. When the game was on the line, Vassilis Spanoulis was there to take responsibility and lead his team to victory, spreading terror among opponents and faith among teammates. A great example is the second half against Real Madrid in the 2013 EuroLeague final, when he scored 22 points and led his teammates with his unique drive. The reactions to his consecutive three-pointers became legendary. However, the most Vassilis Spanoulis moment was in 2015. The semi-final against CSKA Moscow started as a tragedy, but ended with a personal triumph. For 33.5 minutes, the Russians had troubled the Olympiacos captain immensely with suffocating defense. Spanoulis was off target with 0 of 11 shooting, making mistakes, nothing was going his way. Suddenly, 6.5 minutes before the end, the legend came up clutch with 11 of his total 15 points, leading to the great comeback and his team's qualification for the final. In contrast to Mike James, Vassilis Spanoulis remains the king of the Final Four, having won 3 European titles, 1 with Panathinaikos in 2009, and 2 with Olympiacos in 2012 and 2013. And in all 3, he was selected MVP of the Final Four. However, Mike James has not yet distinguished himself in any Final Four. In 2016, he scored only 6 points, with 3 of 11 shooting wearing the Baskonia jersey in the defeat against Fenerbahce 80-77. While last year, despite scoring 17 points in the semifinal against Olympiacos and Kaunas, the outcome was the same, experiencing defeat and elimination, this time with Monaco's colors. 31 points overall in the 2009 Berlin Final Four, 36 points in the 2012 Istanbul Final Four, and 30 points in the 2013 London Final Four, Vassilis Spanoulis made history and forced the whole of Europe to bow to his leadership. Nevertheless, Mike James has managed to prove his worth in many different occasions by winning 2 national championships with Panathinaikos and 1 with Monaco. James brought to Europe an unmatched package of talent and athleticism unseen in our parts before. He can attack in many ways, and sometimes seems impossible for any defense to stop him. Mike James has hit many big shots in his career. One of his favorite moves is the step-back three-pointer. The execution, a signature move of Mike James, with a sudden step to the side and an immediate shot, a move he has made many times. But does it remind you of someone? Of course, Vassilis Spanoulis. As James himself has admitted, he copied the move from the Greek legend after studying his game extensively. Mike James has drawn attention not only with his on-court performances, but also with his uncompromising character. He hasn't hesitated to clash with his coaches, with a characteristic example being Coach Pianigiani. He strongly disagreed with his coach during a timeout in Kaunas. Following this, Coach Messina, who took over in the summer of 2019, explained to him via email that he was not counting on him due to his character. Wearing the Panathinaikos jersey, he broke a glass at the Oaxaca out of frustration when Coach Pedulakis kicked him out of practice, resulting in an injury that kept him out of action for 2 months. A few months later, after being eliminated by Fenerbahce in the playoffs, he, along with Fotzis, Singleton, and Gabriel, decided not to accept Panathinaikos' president punishment, which was to return from Istanbul by bus. The 4 of them instead returned to Athens with their own plane tickets. Mike James has never been afraid to express his opinion and to stand up for what he considered fair based on his own moral code. He has defended teammates, expressed respect, but also disagreements with opposing players and coaches, with his main means of expression being his Twitter account. In April 2022, speaking on the podcast of the former star Joe Arlaucus, he emphasized that I'm always the bad guy in the story. I'm the bad guy you like in the movies. The guy you like, but he remains the bad guy. Successor of Vassilis Spanoulis has already written his name in golden letters in the history of EuroLeague as the all-time leading scorer in absolute numbers, in a much smaller number of games than his predecessor, and his leadership seems difficult to challenge in the near future. However, the new format of the EuroLeague and the condensed schedule with the surplus of games probably favors players with excessive offensive talent to excel and produce good statistics, having more opportunities to increase their total number of points in their most productive years. Don't forget that Vassilis Spanoulis won the MVP title with Panathinaikos in his first Final Four of the 2008-2009 season after only 22 games with his team, while now each player can play from 34 to 41 games. And while the Portland-born Mike James is entering his 33rd year, he seems more solid and mature than ever. The title of the top scorer already belongs to him, but to enter without discussion into the very short list of the best players who have played in EuroLeague, he must lead Monaco to exceed expectations in the Final Four in Berlin.